Welcome back, students. In this video we are going to cover from the Geometry EOC Bootcamp, Station 8. This is distance formula, slope, midpoint, and weighted average. So let me just, before we get started, so everything but weighted average is on the reference sheet. I'm just going to put that in front of you. So this is on one side, but it's in the middle of the page. Distance formula, midpoint formula, slope formula. And I will tell you that the weighted average is a derivative of this guy. I'll try to tell you something and hope that it sticks with you, but we just do the best we can. But hopefully this will help. Test coming up real soon. All right, so distance formula is the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. And it sounds a lot worse than it is. You guys know this now, but I kind of always talk like we're at the beginning of the year, so just forgive me for that. And so midpoint. So your midpoint, so your x sub m and y sub m, so that's just midpoint, is your x's, so x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2, y sub 1 plus y sub 2 divided by 2. Let's see. Slope, that is your change in y, your rise over your run, your change in y's over your change in x. So y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 over x sub 1. Yeah, this is really tough to read. I have it better, like you can't see my hand, but at the bottom, I'm going to try to write this. I'm going to write this over here. So it's weight 1 plus weight 2 on the bottom. And then the top is weight 1 x1 plus weight sub 2, weight sub 2 x sub 2. Something I've noticed that you could also make this so weight A, and then you just have point A, and then you would have weight for B, and then just point B. Because it shows you there x sub 1, x sub 2. Just something to think about. But so the midpoint formula. So the weight for your x's and your y's is 1. So it's 1 plus 1, which is 2. Here it's a little different. Weighted average uses, weighted average will be a little different. It'll say 3 times the whatever. But it's a derivative of this. If you can just remember, the only thing we're adding in here, we're multiplying the weights. And it's not 1 plus 1. It's going to be, if it says weight 1 is 3 and weight 2 is 4 or whatever, it'll be different numbers. So hopefully I didn't confuse you guys more. All right, flipping down here. So it's just showing you, I'm going to only take a second with this. So midpoint on the number line is you're taking this point and dividing it by 2, because it's a weight of 1 and 1. That's why. So 2 x's, then divide it by 2. And so number line, and if you had 3 points, you'd have your x1, x2, x3, weight 1, weight 2, weight 3. And all these are going to be, so for every one you have, it's weight 1 times x1, weight 2, x2. If you have a third, weight 3, x3. If you had a fourth, weight 4, x4. If you had a fifth, weight 5, x5. I'm just to show you. And then just like up here, 1, 2, and 3, it would be weight 1 plus weight 2 plus weight 3 plus weight 4 plus weight 5. Our problems won't get that far. We're only going to go, they might do 3, likely to do 2, but I want to show you that that's the pattern. So just know the weight times the coordinate when it's on a number line. It's actually that on the coordinate plane, you'll just have one of these for x and one of these for y. Sorry, I point off the screen like you guys can see it. All right, midpoint. Okay, we did that. Midpoint coordinate plane. So the midpoint would be the x the two x's, x1, x2, divided by 2, because they both weigh 1 if you're looking for the middle. And then the y1, y2, again, divided by 2. And then over here, so let me scoot over. So this is like this, but you have y's. So we have w1, x1 divided by weight 1 plus weight 2. You really can't, it looks like it's multiplied, but it's plus. We'll just do this. Weight 1 plus weight 2. This is just like that one. And then the other side is w1, w2, I'm sorry, w1, y1, w2, y2. So you use the weight, you just multiply it by the x over here and the y over here. Except I made it where it's, I guess I forgot the x2, y2, sorry, but I was looking at this, trying to zoom in just to make sure I had the right thing on our Word document, and even this zoomed all the way in, and I know my eyes are old, but it was tough to read. But this is the correct form. It's 2 here. Just like I did up here, you would do the same thing for y. And it could go on forever, but we won't have more than 2 points on the coordinate grid. You might do 3 on the number line. Okay, let's flip over. Let's see, hold on. Back up. Okay. All right, number 1. 5 minutes in, we're just now getting to the problem, so I talk too much. But that's okay. Hopefully you're getting something out of this. All right, so find the distance between these 2 points. Now, again, my reference sheet gives me the formula. I'm going to write it on here. Obviously, I recommend this on your scratch paper, but it's up to you guys. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry. All right, so x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 also squared. So I'm going to make this my x1, y1, x2, y2. Now, 1 and 2 is not important, but making sure the 1s and the 2s are together wherever they're at. If you pull x1 here, it better be y1. So hopefully you understand that. So we're going to go, so the x's are 2 minus 10. I'm not going to draw everything. Plus, and then the y's are 9 minus 3. Just showing you it could be that easy, but if you need to take it one at a time, that's fine. All right, so 2 minus 10 is negative 8. I'm going to go over here with it. Plus 9 minus 3 is 6. Okay, so we come over here, and now I'll draw this again. We're still under the box, so negative 8 squared is 64, and 6 squared is 36. Add those together, and we get 100, not 110. And then we're using our calculator. If you take the square root of 100, you'll get 10. Now, I know all this just because I'm old and there are things that I remember. So, let me see. So our distance would be 10 units. But I do want to show you. So, calculator. I had mentioned this in boot camp, but in case you missed it, always make sure on this calculator under the when you start it, this is DEG. If it doesn't say that, like say it says rad, or say it says grad, you keep hitting the second button and the button next to it until you get back to DEG. Because if you don't have DEG on there, you will have a lot of problems. So 8, so negative 8 squared plus 6, and oh, I just realized you can't see me. So we'll do it over. So negative 8. This is the square button. Everything on this calculator, and I'm going to do this, but also I'll do a separate video, but sine, cosine, and tangent. So just underneath it, underneath cosine, that is the button to square something. So you hit it and we get negative 8 squared, which is 64, like I said. Now we're going to hit plus, and then we hit 6, and then we're going to square that too. So we get 36. We hit equals. What did I do? No, I had the 8 in there from before. Okay, see, we're 0. All right, let's do it again. 8, so negative 8 squared plus 6 squared equals 100. We're going to take the square root. So square root's under tangent, so it's right beside it. We got 10. So just wanted to show you. Super easy with the calculator. I make you write it down because, you know, we're learning. But once you guys get it, just go with it. All right, so G and H are our endpoints of a line segment. What is the midpoint M of the line segment? So we'll just call G. And you could say X sub G, X sub H, Y sub G, Y sub H if you want. The 1 and 2 thing works for me, but whatever you guys need. So distance. Again, and that's something that's helped me memorize it, is writing it so much. I'm not saying you guys need to because it's on the reference sheet. I'm just saying that it also helps. So your x's are 6 minus 2. That's squared. And then over here are y's. 4 minus 8. All right, so 6 minus 2 is 4 squared plus 4 minus 8 is negative 4 squared. So let's take this over here. So remember, we square a negative, it's going to be a positive. See, 4 negative squared is 16 plus 4 squared is also 16. Now we'll put it under the square root sign. So we have 32. And the square root of 32 is, yeah, that's what I thought. It's going to be so 5.65, we would round that to 5.66. Wait a minute. I just did the distance formula. I'm crazy. We wanted the midpoint. Ugh. Oh, well. Well, that was a good lesson. So if we were looking for the middle of that, oh, man. Gee. I mean, we were looking for the distance between those two G's. So, sorry, guys. So, midpoint. Hey, we're going to learn something here. So, let me do it this way. So, midpoint, we're just going to do, so, x sub m and y sub m are going to equal, so x1 plus x2 over 2, y1, y2 over 2. I'm going to leave room because we'll go under here, and then I'm going to write the point over here. Sorry, geez. So, x's are 2 and 6. 2 plus 6 over 2. And then over here, it's 8 plus 4. Also over 2. So, in case you guys hadn't noticed, I don't edit anything, which, I mean, that wasn't obvious by now. So, we got 8 halves on one side and 12 halves on the other. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And then 12 divided by 2 is 6. So our midpoint would be 4, 6. Sorry about all this junk. All right. All right, so this one, so line segment CD has a midpoint. So we have the midpoint, and we have point C. They want to know point D. So it would be like C and D and M. So this is going to be, we'll just say x2, y2. This is your xm, ym. And this is your x1, y1. All right. So they give us the midpoint. The midpoint is 6, 3. Your point C is 8, 4. And then this is what we're looking for. So you take the the midpoint formula, like above here. Except we're going to plug in what we know to find what we need, and we're going to do them separate because we'll do the x's here and the y's here, and then we're going to plug that in. So, So this is just the x's divided by 2. And this is just the y's divided by 2. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. So we're going to have to scoot over because we're going to be plugging in. So xm is 6. And so it's 8 plus x sub 2. Remember, we're looking for x sub 2, and this is 4 plus y sub 2. And the y is 3. So all right, let's see. Yeah, I should have scooted that over. Oh well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we'll put this. This was 6. This was 3. I'm doing that because we're going to multiply both sides by 2. So we multiply this by 2. These cancel. You got to multiply this by 2 and this by 2. So 2 times 6 is 12. I'll straighten out my mess here. 12, sort of. God, it's awful. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay. So now we've gotten rid of that. So we have 12 equals 8 plus x sub 2. And this one is 6 equals 4 plus y sub 2. So subtract the 8. Subtract the 8. So 12 minus 8 is 4. And that's what x sub 2 equals. And then over here, minus 4, minus 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. And that's what y sub 2 equals. So 4, 2. So we just have to work it backwards. Don't forget you have to multiply both sides by 2 because we got to get rid of the fraction. And then you just subtract by what's left over here, and that gives you the other point. Just working it backwards, that's all. All right, number 4. Just a second. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Okay, number 4. Distance between the points. So, distance formula, which is the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. And so yeah, got the right formula this time. You can make either one. So these are going to be my 1s. These are my 2s. We're just plugging and going. So the x is 9 minus 1. The y's are 3 minus 9. All right, so 9 minus 1 is 8. That's squared. 3 minus 9 is negative 6 squared. So we're going to go over here. And 8 squared is 64. 6 squared is 36. Remember, it's negative, so I feel like... Oh, yeah, I did that up there. I bet it was the same thing. So square root of 100. Whoops. And the square root of 100, as we already know from where I did it up there, it's 10, even though, well, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, we used the distance formula. It was a different question, but it gave us the same answer, and that's fine. So you could say the square root of 100 if you have that option, or it's 10 units. Okay, flipping over. This is the back page of Station 8. So the very back page of the BootCamp packet. So let's get situated, try to finish this. Sorry, it's running a little bit longer than I intended. All right, so use the information below to find the weighted average for the number line. All right, so on this guy, so we're going to say that this is our x1, this is our y1, and it says that point C weighs twice as much as point D. So weight 1 is going to go for C. Hold on 1 second. And weight 2 is going to go for D. So it says that C weighs twice as much as D. Well, if D weighs 1, twice as much as 1 is 2. That's the easiest way I can tell you to do that. You can make the numbers bigger, but the bigger you make them, then the more complicated you make it. It's still going to divide out, but hang on. Okay, sorry. Trying to juggle kids and all that good stuff. And I keep forgetting I want to do impressions because I never seem to have the nerve, or it never hits me right at school. Sorry. Had to pause, had to run in there and put the kids to bed. So we got all this set up. Formula is, so when it's on number line, so we don't have any y's. I don't know why I did that. It's x sub 2 because there is no y. So in this case, we're going to be weight 1 times x1 plus weight 2 times x2 divided by weight 1 plus weight 2. And that's what I was saying. So earlier, the midpoint, if you divide it, so for the midpoint formula, this is the midpoint formula, except so weight 1 and weight 2 are both 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. That's why we divide it by 2. And then if this is a 1, you don't have to write it. And if this is a 1, you would just write x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2. So same thing, except we don't have, it's a different weight for this. So I hope that helps a little. All right, so our weight 1 is 2. Then we're multiplying that by the x1, which is negative 3. And then we're going to add weight 2, which was 1, times x2, which is 2. And we're going to divide that by weight 1 plus weight 2, which is 2 plus 1. Excuse me. All right, so 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 plus, and I write the plus when I make sure they're both positive, and they are. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. All right, so on top here, negative 6 and a positive 2 make a negative 4 over 3. That doesn't break down any further. So that point D is a little, so excuse me, that's also negative 1.33. Continues. So that puts your point at a little bit like in the, see how that's like a third of the way in between? Not half, but a third. So that's where P would be. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's because C weighs twice as much as D. Did we do that right? Yes. So it puts it closer to that instead of the other one. All right. Number 6, and this will finish off the video and this station. Promise I'll go back and do the others. I'm just kind of doing what I can as I can. All right, down here, so use the information to find the weighted average on the coordinate grid. So find the coordinates of P that represent the weighted average based on the given condition. So point D weighs twice as much as point E. So we have an F here, but it doesn't matter because they're talking about D and E, and they want to put P based on the weighted average. So this formula, let's see, we'll go x sub P comma y sub P would be, I think that's right. I don't know. All right, so over here it says D weighs twice as much as E, so weight 1 is going to be for D, and it's twice as much as the weight for E, which is 1. You could also put weight, you could do this, weight D and weight E. And then you have x sub D, y sub D, or x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. So just don't let me confuse you. Just leave it like it was. x1, y1, x2, y2. But you could just know you could do it that way. But I put P here because it's going to be point P, wherever it lies. So you're going to take the weight 1 times the x1 plus the weight 2 times the x2 over the weight 1 plus weight 2. And then on the y side, it's weight 1 times y1 plus weight 2 times y2 divided by, again, weight 1 plus weight 2. So let's put this. So we know weight 1 and 2 are 2 plus 1. And we know 2 plus, well, I'll just write it here. 2 plus 1, comma, 2 plus 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and go down here, and we know it's 3. We know 2 plus 1 is 3. So, but you can't see that because I'm not looking at the screen. All right. All right, so weight 1 is 2. X1 is negative 4. And we say plus. Weight 2 is negative, 1. I was thinking if it was negative, but it is 1, sorry. And then Y1 is, X2 is 2. See, you got to pay attention. X1, weight 1, X1, weight 2, X2, weight 1, X1, weight 2, X2. So, and then the Y's. Well, first the weight, 2. Y1 is 2 plus 1, because that's the second weight. And then the second Y is negative 2. All right. Do this and then maybe zoom out just a little. All right. So negative 4 and negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. 2 times 1 is 2. It's a plus because they're both positive. 2 times 2 is 4. And then over here, 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. We're going to just go over here. All right, so negative 2 and a positive 6 is negative 6 over 3. Then 4 minus 2 is 2 over 3. This won't reduce, but this will. So 3 goes into itself 1 time, and it goes into negative 6 2 times. So that would be negative 2, and this is just 2/3. And that would be where the new point P. So negative 2 goes 1, 2, and then up 2/3. See how this line, let's see if I can zoom it in. All right, so we went over 2. And then see how this is like 2/3 of the way up, not fully up. So P would sit right here at negative 2, positive 2/3. Okay, hopefully that made sense. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching. More videos coming at you as soon as I can get them done. Have a good night.